wonder if we're live. I wonder. So far, no live it seems. So hopefully we will be... Oh, there we go. We are live. Welcome. Wonderful. Sorry for the delay, everybody. This morning was a bit of a mess. My daughter was in a very bad mood and it took a long time before I could finally take her to the nursery. So yeah, everything got a little bit delayed. But yeah, those of you familiar with my channel should recognize this place. Of course, we're here in my beloved Futako-Tamagawa, in front of the bus terminal this time. Why not spice it up a little bit? I was kind of not really sure where to walk today. One part of me was kind of tempted to head towards Todoroki Valley, but I think I will do the walk to the west towards Seijogakuenmae, which is a quite nice walk that I enjoy a lot, that I haven't done in a long time. So for a while I was thinking if I should let you vote today, but no, today I feel like just being the dictator and decide that that's what we're doing. So thanks everybody for tuning in and for waiting so patiently. It's finally getting a little bit more comfortable here in Tokyo. I don't think this is accurate though. It says it's only 22 degrees. I don't believe that. It's probably a bit warmer, at least here in the sun. But definitely the temperatures have dropped quite a few degrees from last week. So finally it feels like we're starting to get a little bit of autumn here in Tokyo, which is something we all been looking forward to. Did I have lunch yet? No, I usually don't have lunch at 9 o'clock. I'll have lunch after this stream. Also, turn down the brightness a little bit. There we go. Do I like walking under direct sun? No, not really. Not really, but I will try to find some shade soon. So I think today's walk is gonna be about an hour and a half. Then I have quite a lot of other work to do today, so yeah, but I expect to walk down to Seijogakuenmae and then have lunch there and maybe find some coffee shop where I can do a bit of work. I have my laptop in my backpack with me right now, so squeegee. I'm quite excited as tomorrow I leave for Tokyo. I can do this walk in real life. Yeah, great. Welcome. Is it gonna be your first time here? Sorry about the noise. There's some trains just above us right now. We will soon hit way more quieter streets and areas. What I like about this walk that I will do today is that parts of it almost feels like you're in the countryside, and that's kind of what I was craving today actually. So if I had the entire day to devote to YouTube, I would probably go on a little day trip somewhere green, but unfortunately I don't have that freedom today. I do need a coffee desperately, but on this walk there's not many coffee shops, so I guess I'll have to settle for a convenient coffee somewhere along the route. If this ever turns green, maybe the entire walk will just be me standing here waiting for a traffic light that never changes. Isn't that quality TV? Oh, it did change. Wonderful. little bit windy today, but I forgot to pack my external mic, so please bear with me. And viewer number 100 just joined. Thank you. Thanks everybody for tuning in this far. Have I ever had a coffee so bad that you had to spit it out? Not sure if I've ever had to spit it out, but I've had coffee so bad that I didn't drink more than the first sip. That I've had. But that's kind of what's good about Konbini coffee. Like, it's not by any means the best coffee in the world, but it's a safe bet. And it's, I mean, sometimes you bump into shops that has, I don't know, very poorly tuned machines or not maintained properly or whatever, and the coffee tastes really bad. But most of the time the Konbini coffee has a relatively okay minimum baseline. Minnie is giving me a hard time. Yeah, the last week or so she's been very uncooperative, never doing what we want her to do, always arguing everything, and that can be quite tiring and exhausting, even though I know that it's a pretty normal thing for small children, but it's still, some days, especially if I'm also having a bad day, it can be quite exhausting to have to deal with that kind of attitude. But hopefully it will pass quickly. Those kind of phases tend to come and go. Thank you, Vidya, for the morning coffee money. Thank you. Appreciate it, and I need it. Thought the terrible twos were bad. Yeah, terrible threes is even worse than terrible twos so far, and she's only been 3 for 2 months. But like I said, I think it will pass. And there are, of course, plenty of good moments too, but especially when she's tired or just awake, just recently awake, then she tends to be in a pretty complicated mood. Yeah. Does Minnie ask philosophical questions yet? Not really. No, not really. Her questions tend to be on the level of, oh, are we gonna ride a train today? Or can we go to grandma today? That's about as philosophical as they get. Someone who often does ask philosophical questions, however, is Hilda Oritz. She often asks more or less philosophical questions, such as, what's the hardest thing to live as a foreigner in Japan? And I don't know. What should I answer? The hardest thing is maybe to kind of get used to and accept that some parts of the culture are very different than what you're used to, and for the most time I think that's not a big issue, but there are certain moments and certain aspects that are more difficult to accept than others. So, for example, one thing that's making the rounds on X right now, I really hate that name, by the way, it's so stupid. And anyway, it's this photo of a sign in front of a izakaya in Okinawa that said something like the staff can only speak Japanese, so overseas visitors are cannot enter, or something like that. It's like Japanese only, and overseas visitors cannot enter. And I mean, this subject comes up pretty often, but just this idea that you're always, you know, that it's always such a very hard line between us and them, and that the idea of non-Japanese people who can speak Japanese, or that discrimination due to nationality or ethnicity is wrong, that those kind of concepts are still pretty weak in this culture, and that can get a bit tiring, especially when you're having a bad day and you bump into something like that. That can be quite frustrating and tiring. You know, it's so close, like this sign. If it just said like the staff can only speak Japanese, so please only enter if you can speak Japanese, or something like that, then it would be totally fine. But then that they have to add, like, you know, basically no foreigners allowed, and that like a lot of people don't even see what the problem is with such a statement. That does get pretty old. And I mean, the most classical example of bumping into that is when you're looking at a rental apartment as a non-Japanese person. I think, yeah, probably the majority of non-Japanese people living here have had some pretty salty experiences related to that. What's the funniest thing that has happened to me as a foreigner in Japan? Well, that's a good follow-up question. The funniest thing, I mean, being a non-Japanese person here also opens up a lot of opportunities and possibilities. So that a lot of people are genuinely curious and want to know more, want to get to know you. That's, you know, that's something that can be quite enjoyable. So when I've had like people inviting me to their home, just because, you know, they wanted to chat with me, and just because they realized that I could actually speak Japanese, that's a nice thing. So, you know, it's in one way it's kind of like the same coin, and I would say the most of the times you get kind of like a positive treatment for not being a Japanese person here. And in a way that's problematic too, because I don't think we should be judged based on our ethnicity, but that's just the way it works here. So if we have to endure all those negative aspects of it, we should also be able to shamelessly enjoy and take advantage of the positive aspects of being a non-Japanese person here. Yeah. Let's see, what else are you saying? Do you need a lot of cash when visiting Japan? A lot of places, especially like smaller restaurants and shops, only accept cash, so you should always have a little bit of cash on hand. But most ATMs accept international cards, so as long as you have like a fairly common credit or debit card, getting hold of cash is not really a big problem here. So let me see what else they're saying. Oh yeah, that grizzly bear who killed 2 hikers. I heard about that. It was actually even reported here in the Japanese media. It's very tragic. Did we get a heart rate check today? No, I don't think so. Not yet. You want one? I don't know if that's a common thing for me to do, but let's see. I'm happy to share my heart rate with you. It currently sits at 90 BPM according to my Apple Watch. 89. There you go. What would you call a little bit of cash? It depends on what you're planning to do. But for example, if you're a couple and you're planning to go out and eat, maybe at least have 10,000 yen in cash in case you need to pay by cash. Something like that. I mean, don't need any huge amount, but yeah, you should not really go out without any cash. Yeah, right now is a very good time to buy yen, especially if you're someone with a lot of US dollars. I mean, I basically feel a little bit uncomfortable if I don't have at least 10,000 yen in cash in my wallet, because you never know. And yeah, it's just something you get used to. Just join the walk. So where are we heading today? So I am walking in the western parts of Futako-Tamagawa, aka the nice parts. Right now I'm on my way to continue west towards Seijogakuenmae station on the Odakyu line. It's a walk I've done many times before. However, I often tend to walk like a few streets further down that way and following the river there. I might head down there a little bit later, but I think for now I will walk this way. Have a Japanese grandma ever tried to adopt you as a grandson? No, I don't think I've experienced that, no. I've been kind of invited to dates by older Japanese people a long time ago when I was younger and single. It has happened. Like I mean, one of the first questions everybody asks is if you have like a family or if you have a girlfriend. And yeah, then there's been moments or situations where I've said no, and someone's like, oh, by the way, you know, I have my grandchild, you should maybe meet her. That has happened. Not very frequently, but a handful of times, yes. Such a beautiful day. Yeah, it is. It's a very nice day today. And very comfortable as long as I can avoid the direct sunlight. It happens when you're a model. Yeah, exactly. It was back then when I was young and beautiful, before the beer belly started taking on obscene proportions. Australia, people would feel uncomfortable with carrying $100 in cash. Oh, really? Yeah, well, I guess I would probably feel uncomfortable carrying cash in any country less safe than Japan. Like when I'm in Sweden, I don't carry any cash, for example. But it's not necessary. But yeah, here in Japan, I feel 100% safe. So never any concern carrying cash here. I think it's been a while since I walked around here. Let me know if you recognize or are familiar with where I am right now. I've come here a couple of times before, but not terribly often. Ohayou gozaimasu. Uchida-san. Hey Lucy, hello, hello. Yeah, I also use my phone when I'm in Sweden. You can just pay with like Apple Pay or Google Pay everywhere. It's quite convenient. However, I actually like the fact that we can still use cash in Japan. I think it gets very problematic when most shops only accept digital payments like in Sweden. I don't think that's a good thing. We should always be able to have the option to pay with cash. That's tiny fish. And a little bit of trash. Look how much cash I'm carrying right now. Maybe not enough. I think a little bit less than 10,000 yen. That's unusually low for me, yeah. Kelly, your son left your Mario backpack on the station platform and someone turned it in. Yeah, I've had that happening to me as well. I once forgot my backpack on the overhead rack on a Chuo line train when I was going from Shinjuku to Nakano. That's just a 5-minute ride. But it was very, I don't know, for some reason I was very distracted and I forgot to take the bag when I left the train. And you know, it was probably stuff in there worth close to $10,000 US. But yeah, I just went to the last stop of the line where there was a lost and found counter, and it was there. Everything Ah, Alan and Ayumi here planning to go to Chichibu. That's nice. Actually, I've never been to Chichibu. It's one of these day trip destinations. Well, it's kind of borderline day trip distance from where I live, but it's one of those places that I've been wanting to go for ages, but just never really got around to it. It's more convenient if you live in the northern parts of Tokyo or in Saitama, I guess. But from where I live, I think it's at least 2 hours to Chichibu, probably longer, more than that. So here's this little place that I've passed a couple of times on my walks. This little traditional Japanese house garden, Minkain, Okamoto Minkain. Let's just take a quick peek inside. Oh, they're doing a bit of renovations here. Oh yeah, this is a beautiful place. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa.
そしたらもうねみんなねみたいで、あれもつけてどうぞお上がりください。
あ、大丈夫です。
こちらからどうぞ。
はい、すみません。
こちらから。
Ah. Now they want me to enter the house, but then I have to take off my shoes, and that's a bit of a hassle. So. あ、大丈夫です。はい。
このパンフレット。
はい、ありがとうございます。
どうぞ。
はい、どうも。Welcome to Minkain. Yeah. They are very happy and inviting and friendly. But I also have a feeling that if they start talking to me, it might be a little bit it might take a while before they stop. So, but it's a cute little place. This highly recommend it. There's another one, the Chidayubori Koen, I think it's called, which is closer to Seijogakuenmae, which is a similar place like this but much bigger. They have like several of these houses. I'm not sure, we might even pass there on today's walk actually. Let's see. Bunch of kids here, so should be a little bit careful. Do they have vending shoe machines? No, I don't think I've ever seen a vending machine selling shoes. I wouldn't be surprised if it exists somewhere, like that they sell geta or some like slippers or something in a vending machine, but it's not something that is very common here. What's my favorite vending machine? My favorite vending machine is probably the regular ones. Very boring answer, but that's, I mean, they're very useful. The fact that you can get like cold and hot drinks in basically every street corner all over Japan, and that they're always well stocked and functioning. I think that's something that genuinely improves my quality of life, and a pretty nice aspect of living in Japan. All the other ones, like I rarely find those as useful and meaningful. Like this ramen vending machines are quite common these days, but they just sell like basically a pack of instant ramen, usually a bit more expensive than what it should be. So yeah. So you guys see. If I've tried camping in the city, no. Have I ever tried a back egg? What's a back egg? I also think the idea, you know, the concept that's very common here in Japan when you go to a restaurant is that you buy a ticket in the vending machine and then you hand that ticket to the chef and they prepare the food for you. I'll just idle around here until the kids have left. Yeah, I think that's a very smart thing, so that the people handling the food doesn't also have to handle like dirty cash, for example. Like they can focus on cooking and don't have to worry about giving change. Oh, this is so cute. I should not really get too close to this, but a bunch of small kids playing in this little park. I wish my daughter went to a nursery close to here so that they could come to a place like this. What's the weirdest question? So like here, you see, you just have like random street corner and you have this big selection of drinks. This time of the year it's only cold drinks, but in the winter they usually switch, so at least one shelf is like hot drinks. I think that's a very nice thing to have. Weirdest question. I don't know. Not sure. I don't think it involves Yari. I don't get many questions about Yari, to be honest. He's just this cozy little guy making spelling errors in the chat, and I love him for that, but it's not really something that people ask me about very often. Oh, right, it's October, meaning that Halloween is coming up, so a lot of people have already started with their Halloween decorations. I think the weirdest question is probably still has to be, why is it so bright outside? I don't know how many people remember that, but it was someone asking, why is it so bright outside? I think it was someone who was not very intelligent, who lived in a different time zone and who didn't really grasp the concept of that it can be day in one place of the planet and well, it's night at another place. But yeah, that's one question that I will never forget. Yeah, that's right. The vending machines also sell soup sometimes. That's right, corn soup and whatnot. It's not super common. It's, I would say, maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 5 or up to 1 in 10 vending machines have soup. But it can be quite nice. the middle of nowhere and you're a bit hungry and there's nothing else around. So I think I will get an iced coffee here at the convenience store coming up here on the left. What's the cheapest fast food restaurant in Japan? Of the chains, it's probably like the gyudon chains like Matsuya, Yoshinoya, where you can have a decent meal for like 500 yen. Sometimes you can still find like places selling bento for like 300 to 350 yen. That's really cheap, but those are usually like small mom and pop shops in the local neighborhoods, if it's that cheap. Did I ever drive in Tokyo? No, because I don't have a driver's license. So I've never driven anywhere. But sometimes my wife drives in and outside of Tokyo. We drove to Kawaguchiko 2 weeks ago. It's about a 2-hour drive from Tokyo. So it happens. Hilda, you're really asking a lot of questions today. Is it comfortable to sleep on a tatami? I think so. It depends. Of course, you need a futon, like a mattress. And you don't sleep directly on the tatami. That is not comfortable, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure people do sleep directly on the tatami sometimes, like if they come home and they're too drunk to put out the futon or something like that. But in my opinion, that's not comfortable. But if you have a futon, sleeping in a tatami room, I think that's quite comfortable. I like it. I like the smell of tatami very much. It's not something that I would want to do every night at home, even though for a while I was actually living in a share house in a tatami room, and back then I was sleeping on the tatami floor every night, but like I said, I had a mattress between me and the floor. Does your wife like to put the pedal to the metal when she drives? No, she's a very careful and safe driver, thankfully. One of the worst things I know is people who don't drive safely. So respectless. Do I remember the Family Mart socks I bought? Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're very comfortable actually. They eventually broke. I think I throw them away now. There was a hole in one of them, but they were comfortable. I'll probably buy a new pair. Oh, thank you, Blue Ocean. Any secret, less known places in Tokyo you'd recommend to visit? There's a ton. It would be helpful if you could tell me a little bit more about what kind of places you enjoy. Like, you enjoy like residential neighborhoods or more like nature and greenery, unknown parks. Yeah, tell me a little bit more, and I will try to give you a better answer. So let's get one of these. One-hand coffee making is a bit of an art, and I'm always terrified that I will screw things up on the stream. But yeah, I managed. Hey, iced cafe latte. Thank you. Thank you, Family Mart, and thank you those who paid for my coffee today. Yeah, the Family Mart socks. A lot of people are very happy with them. I think they recently launched a couple of new variations and colors. I think there's even like Famichiki socks now that are having like the same colors as the Famichiki package. Parks Residential. One neighborhood that is not so famous is an area in eastern Tokyo called Shibamata, which has this like very old Showa era, no, more like traditional Japan vibe. Lots of street food stands, very nice vibe. Another area I like is Tateishi, which is also in eastern Tokyo, where there's a lot, like eastern Tokyo has some neighborhoods that are a little bit poorer, and I would say Tateishi is one of them. So there's lots of super cheap restaurants there, and quite a unique vibe. And here's, by the way, the famous slope where you can get a nice view on Fuji when the weather is clear. I'm not gonna challenge that slope today. I'm a little bit tired, so I'll just continue walking straight. Also, I mean, the far west of Tokyo is really nice. The mountains there. Takao is quite famous and well known, but there's a few other areas as well. Okutama, which is like, I think, the most western part of Tokyo city, and it's basically just mountains and nature and a very nice river. So great place for hiking. Helicopter. So we walked for about 45 minutes now, and I think we will walk for another 45 at least. Here's a driving school, by the way. Koyama Driving School, the same one that's next to the big river near Futako-Tamagawa. I guess they have another little campus here. Japanese word for sometimes. Tokidoki, that's a nice word. Justin asks if I have any favorite Japanese word or phrase. Yeah, do I? I can't think of anything in particular right now, to be honest. Can I just sit down for 2 minutes? Let's see how many viewers we will lose. Just a short little kind of regret that I'm carrying my very skinny backpack with my very heavy laptop. So let me just quickly finish this coffee. And in the meantime, yeah, please click the like button if you haven't already. Naruhodo, that's a very good word. I agree. I like that one too. Naruhodo. It's a very satisfying word once you start to know how to use it correctly. I did enjoy that very much when I was a Japanese student. Oh, here's a nice little sign with, I guess, all the bridges over this river. Sengawa is the name of this river, by the way. I often, usually when I do this walk, I tend to follow another river called Nogawa. This one is called Sengawa. I don't take this route as often, but as you can see, there's a lot of bridges. And here's Toho Studios, where I found myself on a night walk once when I was just starting out my streaming career. That was a good walk. I remember it still very vividly. But yeah, plenty of bridges here. What does the colors mean? Okay. Okay, when there's a red mark like this, there's some sort of informational sign about it. Okay, it's some kind of, they have some walking course around there. A little bit complicated. I'm too tired to decipher the exact meaning of that. Shoganai is another very good word. Yeah, I agree. Oishidesu. That's a pretty useful word as well. Let's see. Let me check the map. Where am I? Where am I heading? Oh, I did not know this. There's actually a cafeteria at Toho Studios where I could have lunch. There's also a little coffee shop very close to my current location that looks really adorable, but unfortunately they're closed on Tuesdays. It's unfortunate. Starting to get a little bit hungry, but I guess I should just continue my walk. Let's continue the walk towards Seijogakuenmae. And this is annoying. I doubt that I will find any trash can sometime soon. I have this finished cafe latte in my hand. Lots of dragonflies. I don't know. Are you able to see them? They're moving really fast, so they're a little bit difficult to film. There's a ton of them. Maybe they kind of lay their eggs near the water or something and they just hatched. Yeah, I didn't lose any viewers during the coffee break. That's unusual. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Appreciate it. It's a pretty cool house, actually, this blue one. Everybody seems to have a pretty big balcony. Since it's Japan, I'm pretty sure that no one uses them except for hanging their laundry. That's basically the only purpose of a balcony in Japan. You never see people like putting out the table and sitting there and relax, which is such a missed opportunity. Oh, Daniel and Yuka. Thanks for stopping by. Which one of you is it? Write down what I did during that coffee break for future reference. Yeah, how to retain the viewers. That's right. I don't know what the trick was. Beautiful day in Tokyo by the river today. Absolutely, very beautiful, very comfortable day. It's not too hot for the first time in ages, or not in ages, but for the first time since coming back to Japan. That's a good thing. It's Daniel. Okay, from PNG, I guess. The country, not the file format. Seems windy. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. It's not humid. No, it's not. It's not. Not, I mean, no. Not annoyingly so. Let me check the humidity. It's not dry by any means, but it's, yeah, 45% humidity. That's low. That's low by Tokyo standards. Am I near the big Buddha? I am, yeah. Japanese rice expensive. I remembered when I first came to Japan, I was a little bit surprised because I thought rice would be cheaper here. But it's not that cheap. But I think it's good that it's like that the farmers probably get like reasonably paid for it. It's not like a race to the bottom, because the Japanese rice is such high quality, and it's really worth paying a little bit extra for that. Port Moresby looks quite beautiful. Yes, it looked very beautiful actually. Those photos you sent me made me kind of curious about that town, and a bit tempted to visit one day. 250 viewers now. Great. That's not bad. That's not bad for a random morning walk in my local area like today. Ooh, that's a big fish right there. Is it? Around here the water looks very clean. Is your household feeling the pinch of the recent round of price hikes? To be honest, no. Not while we're in Japan. When we are in Sweden, we feel very poor because everything is so expensive. But when we're here in Japan, I've noticed one thing that we have noticed is that orange juice has gotten very expensive. And I need a glass of orange juice every morning, so that's something I've noticed. But other than that, we're doing well. We have a lot of photo requests, both me and my wife. We're in a pretty comfortable financial situation here, so I'm very happy and grateful for that. We don't really need to think about like if groceries get like 10% more expensive, it's not really making a huge difference for us, so I'm very lucky about that. Very grateful. Let me check what else I'm saying. Best way to stay in Japan forever as a foreigner? I think it's the same as for anybody anywhere. Contribute to the society, fulfill your obligations, work, earn money, pay your taxes, and you're good to go. Orange juice, we usually buy this like Tropicana brand. It used to be 200 something yen for I think it's 900 milliliter in the packet. But now it's like 350 or even more than that. So it's a pretty, percentage-wise, it's pretty big hike. But actually, what's even more annoying is that now it's like difficult to find orange juice. We used to be able to buy it everywhere, like every supermarket, but these days we often they don't have it. They might have like some other cheapish low quality brand, but not like decent stuff. Is this place finished? This road looks brand new, and these houses behind me, or behind here, looks brand new as well. To get the residency in Japan. If you get a job here, it's not so complicated. In my experience, but you need to be able to get a job, which means that you need to have some sort of skill that is in demand here, and in many cases you also need to have language knowledge. Or you can start your own business, but then you need a little bit of money to invest into the business. Then you can get what's called an investor's visa, but you need 5 million yen for that, which compared to many other countries who has similar kind of visas is a pretty manageable amount of money. But I know that to some of my viewers it probably sounds like a lot, but That was a helicopter, yeah. Sorry, I forgot to focus on that. It was like some sort of military helicopter, I think. My daughter loves these. If we were on a bike passing here, she would force me to stop the bike and pick up a few of them for her so that she can sit in her seat and wave them around and tickle me in the neck. We are slowly getting closer to Seijo. We're passing this Danchi area, and over there is the big Buddha, by the way. Someone asked about it a bit earlier. Yeah, the thing with Japan and like moving here is that Japan desperately needs people. There's such a shortage of workers in so many different fields. This morning I saw on the news about a bus company in Chiba that have to severely cut down on their number of buses every day just because they have such a staff shortage. And it's the same pattern in many different industries as well. So Japan needs people, but at the same time they're very reluctant to like large-scale immigration, but there's a big demand for workers, and if you can get a job here, then yeah, the visa process is pretty straightforward. You don't need to earn a lot of money. Even like relatively low-paid jobs are fine to get a visa. I think the minimum requirement is somewhere around 3 million yen per year, which is a kind of salary where you can't really have a comfortable life in. Oh, they're tearing it down. Oh no, I'm a bit sad to see that. This part of the Danchi is gone. Wow. I wonder if they're gonna tear down these ones too. Huh. That's a bit sad to see. Let me see what's the best way to go from here. It feels like this river is only like directly in the sun. Maybe I should walk a few blocks this way first. Might be better. Actually, here's the Seijo maternity clinic, so we're already in Seijo, it seems. Let me take a look at the map here. Yeah, we're pretty close to Seijo. Okay, nice. Here's a little map. We are here, and the place I'm heading is up here. I'll just continue walking straight here, and then I'll turn right. Bus goes all the way to Shibuya. That will take a long time. And down there, oh, but wait, okay. I'll actually go down here because I've been here before. Toho Studios is down here, and I think it's very nice around there. If I remember correctly, there was this big, like, kind of a street lined with tons of trees, which must be very comfortable on a day like today. Yeah, it's actually along the river here. So nice. Wonder how many steps he has taken so far. That's something that I could easily find out if I had another arm, which I don't, so I need to scroll, need to use my nose to scroll on my Apple Watch. My Apple Watch says just 6,000 steps and that I've walked 5 kilometers so far. Back in the clay, you remember that night walk when I ended up here at Full Studios? Yeah, that was a really nice walk. That was a long time ago when I just started my live streams. Oh, this is so comfortable. The shade, the trees, the greenery, the birds. I kind of want us to move to something like this, a place where when you look out the window you see trees, and if you open the window you hear birds and maybe some water. That would be very nice. Right now we live on a pretty high floor, and if we open the window we just hear traffic, and the view is nice of course, but other than that, I realize it's not very practical to live too high up. Even though I do really love the view that we have. Can't have it all, I guess. Oh, so here's the Toho Studios cafeteria. I'm kind of tempted to try it out, but I don't think I can. I would not feel comfortable walking in there with the camera running. Entrance. The fruit of ginkgo nuts is terrible. Yeah, it smells pretty bad when you have a ton of them on the streets and they're kind of rotting. That's not a very pleasant smell. Ground floor apartment in Australia. Open the window, see trees and hear lots of birds. Yeah, I mean, there's many places in Tokyo where you would have that experience too. No fish here. fancy thing here in Australia. It's ordinary to burger. Yeah, same if you go to like the suburbs in Japan or in Tokyo or in the countryside. Of course, those things are very normal there too. But in the middle of the city, suddenly things like greenery and the sound of birds becomes a bit of a luxury. Same everywhere, I guess. This has been a nice walk today. Yeah, thank you, Justin. I think so too. I enjoyed this very much. It's interesting. It says, it doesn't say like beware of the tree or anything. It's just beware of the sakura. Sakura ni chui. So these are all cherry blossom trees. I should come here in the cherry blossom season. It must be beautiful. Ever explored Chiba Prefecture? Yes, I've actually done a couple of collaborations with the Chiba Tourism Board, including a walk in Narita City, with a big shrine, temple. Yeah, Chiba is nice. It's just very far from where I live. I live in the western part of Tokyo, so getting to Chiba is a very big hassle for me. But if I didn't have a family to take care of, I would love to do more like longer trips out in the suburbs and outskirts of the Tokyo region. Yeah, I did that Narita walk. Maybe about a year ago, last autumn or winter or something like that. And then I went to Nokogiri-yama and did a walk there. That was this spring, I believe. And also Bosonomura, which is this kind of outdoor open air museum. So there's been more Chiba walks than Saitama walks on my channel, at least. Haven't been much to Saitama at all. Here it's like only sun again. Let's see. I think Seijo is just up here actually. But I think I will take this street and then turn right. Around 15 minutes now. I estimated today's walk would be around an hour and a half, and I think that's gonna be about right. Let's see. Yeah, I just go. Oh, okay, I'm super close to the station. I love Chiba. I see. That's kind of rare. I don't bump into people who have any special opinion about Chiba very often. It feels like this kind of underrated neighboring prefecture to Tokyo. Like, I know that Chiba has a lot of nice places, but it's just not so popular. Real estate prices in Chiba can be very, very cheap, from what I've heard. Lots of really nice houses around here. Oh, I like this wooden house. Looks nice. Where are we? We are close to Seijogakuenmae station. I walked from Futako-Tamagawa. Reflection reveal. Jenny, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. This is a very exclusive neighborhood. Buying a house around here is not for your average middle-class Japanese person. Yeah, Vian. I think so too. My impression of Chiba is that it's very nice, and I would love to explore more of it. So much, Jenny. What time is it now? It's 11. Yeah, almost time for lunch then. Let's walk up maybe 1 block here. Then I believe the station should be on the right, maybe behind this higher building. Oh, this is a cool looking building. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining me today. We are approaching the end of the stream. I'm glad that 250 people tuned in. That's a pretty good number that I'm happy about. And also big thanks to the 3 or 4 of you who super chatted today. As I always say, you are the guys who keep this channel running. Without your financial support, there's no way I could take you on these walks as often as I do. So, big thank you. Daniel asks, hi T, how have you found working remotely on different time zones with your company? The time difference in my case is an asset to the company. So for example, this week there's actually a big event. So I work for a Swedish PR company, and there's a big event happening later this week, and someone there will be filming it, and then during the night in Sweden, which is my daytime here in Japan, I will edit that video and upload it. And then by the time the next day begins in Sweden, they will have the finished deliverable. So yeah, and that happens quite often. But of course, it really depends on the nature of the work you're doing and things like that. And you know, the Sweden-Japan time difference is kind of comfortable in the way that Swedish morning is Japanese afternoon. So basically when my workday ends here at around 4 o'clock, that's when everybody's gathering at the office in Sweden and when they're having a morning meeting. So I usually attend the morning meeting, and that marks the day of the start of their workday and the end of my workday. So it's really convenient. It would be much more complicated if I was working for a US-based company, for example. That time difference is a little bit more inconvenient. But yeah, we're here. Seijogakuenmae station. This is where I will wave goodbye to you. So once again, thank you so much everybody for joining me today. And I'll be back with another walk soon. Worst case this coming weekend, but hopefully I can squeeze in another little morning walk like this on Thursday or Friday maybe. We'll see. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your support, and have a great day everyone. Bye bye. Hej då. Auf Wiedersehen und mata ne.